Alrighty, YouTube, what's going on? Ryan is back with another video, and I want to do a couple things today. One, I have a quick 2-card mail day that I want to show you guys. We got some other cool stuff coming in hopefully later in the week and the following week. But then I also wanted to just go through a few pieces of my collection and just pick a few today and talk about my favorite pitchers and at least favorite pitchers of whom I have autographs for. So I kind of wanted to start off with that. So first up, for the mail day, picked up 2 cards. And first up, we have a 77 Andre Dawson rookie card. It is an X-Men 6. Nice to have a little something from the Hawk. A guy that I saw play towards the tail end of his career. And when he'd come to Fenway, he would sign autographs. So he was a pretty nice guy. So wanted to pick this up, and it's a nice looking card. Honestly, Andre Dawson rookie cards aren't going for a real premium, so I was able to pick up a higher grade. So got that bad boy up, add that to the personal collection. And the other card I picked up is a 1960 Topps Willie McCovey rookie. This one I got in a 3. I wasn't really willing to spend any more for a higher grade. And again, as you all know, I'm more of the card collector than the grade. So I was able to get this is still a pretty sharp card. Overall the centering is really nice. The corners look really nice. And the back overall is really nice as well. No real flaws on this card other than some minor corner wear, which really I think some minor coloring too, which turned the card down to a lower grade. But again, I don't care. Card looks nice. Nice to have a Willie McCovey rookie card. So I guess, as far as what I'm collecting right now, it looks like I'm into, vintage and collecting rookie cards. So there'll be some other cards coming in this week, which I think you'll be pretty excited to see. So really stay tuned for those. That'll be coming soon. So next, what I wanted to do is, like I said, I wanted to just go over my top favorite pitchers from my collection, of whom I have autographs for. This is really no particular order per se. I mean, they're all kind of my favorites in many regards. But first up on the list right here, we have Walter Johnson. You can see Walter's signature right across here. Does look better in person, but there is, there's some wear on it. I mean, this ball was signed, I believe, in the 40s or 50s, if I'm not mistaken. Can't exactly recall. I mean, I believe, yeah, this was signed in the between 1929 and 1932, when he was managing the Senators. Walter Johnson, to me, just seeing videos of him pitch was just incredible. I was always a big fan of his windup, that big swooping sort of sidearm. Almost kind of reminded me of Randy Johnson a little bit. But let's face facts, this guy won 417 games. All right, he had an ERA of just over 2 at 2.17. That's a career. He had 3,500 strikeouts. I mean, this guy was unbelievable. Of course, this is pitching in a different time. That dead ball era was a different game played altogether. But I'll tell you, wow. I mean, World Series champion. I mean, he won the Triple Crown in 1913, 1918, and 1924. I mean, he led the league in wins from 1913 to 1916, and again in 1918 and 1924. He was a 5-time AL ERA leader, a 12-time strikeout leader. He had a no-hitter in 1920. He had 110 career shutouts. I mean, this guy was just truly an amazing player of his time. And, to kind of, go right to the next guy who was in that same era, Siyoung. And I was able to pick this up. This is one of the more recent editions. Cy Young is right on top. I'm going to try to bring that in as close as I can so everybody can see it without any, of course, glare. So right on top. Again, it's not a single sign ball, but it is Cy Young right on top. So he's another one of my favorite pitchers. Again, this guy, he won 511 games. Now, of course, these guys, during this day and age, were playing, constantly. I mean, they were pitching, every day or every other day. I mean, so it was a little different, but still, the fact that, today's pitchers are getting all this rest and their arms are falling off, and these guys were pitching every day, sometimes, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 innings, and that was just commonplace. So, his ERA was a little higher than Walter Johnson's at 2.63. He had 2,800 strikeouts, but still this guy was unbelievable. I mean, he did win the Triple Crown in 1901. He was the wins leader 5 times. He was a 2-time ERA leader, a 2-time strikeout leader. He was one of the pitchers who pitched a perfect game in 1904. He had 3 no-hitters. I mean, just an unbelievable. Just put this into perspective. He pitched 7,356 innings. All right, he started 815 games. He completed 749 games. That is just unbelievable. And he had a 25 1/3 consecutive hitless innings pitched. I mean, that's just unbelievable. And what's amazing is when he was voted in 1937, he was voted in by 76.12% on his second ballot. I don't know. It's just amazing with the voting today. And then, how things were, back then. It's unbelievable. So next up, we're going to look at one of my, again, these are all my favorites, but just hearing the stories and seeing some few videos of this guy pitch, Satchel Page. So Satchel Page, right in the middle here, this is actually a multi-Hall of Fame signed ball. It's got Bill Dickey, it's got Joe DiMaggio, Lou Boudreau. I mean, it's a pretty stacked baseball. You can see Joe on the side there, Joe Medwick, Bob Feller's down here. Who else do we have here? I want to say, I can't recall if there's anyone else on here noteworthy, so to speak. But Satchel Page is the main signature right up here. I'll bring this in as close as I can for you guys so you can see it. Really nice signature right in the middle between Johnny Mize and Lou Boudreau. Satchel, there's sort of a mystique with Satchel because he came to the majors so late. Exactly how many games he really won and how old he was. For the Negro Leagues, his recorded win-loss record was 100 wins and 50 losses. And then, by the time he went to the majors, he had a record of 28 and 31. But just, with the stories you hear of this guy and his windup and his pitching techniques were just, way above the rest. He pitched for so many different teams. I mean, from the Negro Leagues, the Chattanooga Black Lookouts, the Birmingham Black Barons, the Baltimore Black Sox, and on, and finally making his way to the Cleveland Indians and then the St. Louis Browns and finished his career with the Kansas City Athletics. But, in his career, he was a 2-time Major League Baseball All-Star. He was a 5-time Negro League All-Star. He's a World Series champion in 48. He was a Negro League World Series champion in 42. So just an unbelievable pitcher. And again, during that time dealing with a lot of adversity, he was something else. So next up, some honorable mentions. In the background, we have Sandy Koufax, Warren Spahn, and Johnny Sain. I mean, I'm not going to get into too much detail. I don't think those guys need any introduction anyway. But some unbelievable pitchers. And for me, growing up as a kid, the last guy, but certainly not least, Pedro Martinez. I mean, being a Red Sox fan growing up, he was the most incredible pitcher to watch. His small, skinny frame, his ability to work hitters, and most importantly, towards the end of his career, or as he started to age, the way that he was able to adapt, almost as like Warren Spahn did towards the end of his career, where he had to change his way of pitching. He couldn't rely necessarily on power and speed. And Pedro was the same way. He couldn't use that 98-mile-an-hour fastball anymore. He had to work on his curve. So watching him pitch at Fenway Park, I mean, was truly unbelievable. My father and I were seasons ticket Red Sox holders up until about 5 years ago. And being able to see him pitch from the late 90s into the early 2000s at Fenway was truly unbelievable. I mean, and you look at the different type of statistics that he had compared to a Cy Young or Walter Johnson, he won 219 games. His ERA was just under 3 at 2.93, but he still accumulated over 3,100 strikeouts, which is truly amazing, and especially pitching in that steroid era. Going up against guys with added power, added spring to the bat, he still managed to shut these guys down day in and day out, which was truly amazing. I mean, this guy was an 8-time All-Star, of course, a 2004 World Series champion, which for Red Sox fans, and myself, was just the most amazing thing. And I luckily was able to see games 1 and 2, at Fenway, and before they won it on the road. But it was an amazing sight to see for Red Sox fans. He won the Cy Young in 97, 99, and 2000, Triple Crown in 1999. He was the wins leader in 99. I mean, he was a ERA leader over 5 different times in his career, a strikeout leader 3 different times, and, of course, a first ballot Hall of Famer with over 91% of the vote, which is well-deserved. So, these guys here, for me, in my collection, are my top favorite pitchers. One of these days, I might add a few other big names, but just budget-wise, I think it's going to take some time for that to happen. So to close, I just want to thank you guys for watching this. I want to give a shout-out to all the new inductees to the Hall of Fame. Overall, it was just awesome to see the way that it was set up, the inductees, the outpouring of votes. It was really cool to sit back and watch. It was exciting to watch. Congratulations to everybody that went in. Special shout out to Joe Seppi, Dave. He was one of the first guys to subscribe to my channel and comment on my videos and sort of get me into the community. So really happy that he got in. And everyone else, I mean, I watch all your videos and you guys really are awesome. You have great content, and I look forward to getting a little ding on my phone when you guys post something. So thanks again for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, feel free to comment. I love talking to you guys, and we'll see you guys later in the week. Have a great night.